Well, hey, Chick Chatters.
Hey, welcome back to our Sister Wives videos. We want to thank everybody for all the support on our last video. It was really exciting to see it grow and to see our channel grow because of it. So we want to set a new subscriber goal. Usually we set our subscriber goals on the story of the week. So check those out if you have not yet checked those out. But we did forget last week. So we're going to set it here. And our new subscriber goal is 80 subscribers. So if you're watching and you have not yet subscribed, please click the like button, subscribe, give us a comment, let us know what you think. But either way, we're really, really happy to have you here. Let's get into episode, is it 8 already?
Yep, we're in episode 8, and it's called Writing is on the Wall. So they start out at Meri's house, and Robyn and Kody are going to Meri's house. Did you peep whether or not they were in the same car?
No, they were in different cars, and Robyn was driving the truck. I also realized I've never seen the inside of anyone's house. Like, I haven't seen these Flagstaff houses. I don't even know what the concepts are inside.
Mm-hmm.
So it was exciting for me to see the inside of somebody's house.
Did you see, though, it was on Meri's wall?
No.
At one point when I paused for some reason, I noticed there was like this sign on her wall, and it says, "If we are in complete control of our family, somewhere down the line we have gone terribly wrong." I kind of laughed to myself for a minute. I'm like, Meri, girl, right in your kitchen.
Perspective to have on family. Okay.
So Meri and Robyn and Kody are at her kitchen table or island or whatever it is, and Kody couldn't sit far enough away from Meri and Robyn. I think he kind of knows that they could conspire against him.
Yeah.
When it comes to him and Meri's relationship, Cody's not really for him and Meri's relationship.
No, like if this whole square here is the island they were at, and like Meri's over here, then Kody was like way over there. And Robyn's just like over here.
Oh, Kody does verbally say he doesn't want to sit in the middle. He didn't want to sit in the middle of them, which is where he used to sit all the time in the beginning. Remember, he used to sit in the middle of all of his wives. Now he don't want to sit in the middle no more. He's good. He's got his Robyn. If he can't sit next to Robyn and be affectionate with Robyn, he's going to sit all the way over here. He prefers to sit with Meri's book than Meri. Robyn's basically there because she's Meri's translator to Kody, as his wife might be. She doesn't think that Cody's gonna care, so that's why she needs like Robyn there to kind of help her. She's really trying to get this point across that she's not leaving the family. She's just moving everything of hers somewhere else and going to be somewhere else for a while.
And when she says this, Robyn makes like 5 different faces about this, like all kinds of, and they're all like directed at Kody. Like, I think trying to get his attention that like this is serious.
Why didn't she take him aside before the conversation or at any point be like, listen, Meri is doing this and she's going to talk to you about it. You need to reassure her that like you like her, that you want her around or whatever the case is. No, Robyn's just sitting there hopelessly making faces from across the island.
I know. Like, if you're going to communicate that strongly non-verbally, like, just say a couple sentences to him on the way, you know? Like, I really have high hopes for this conversation. I hope you can say something good. That's all you have to say. Like, these faces to him are not going to work.
Yeah, he says that him and Meri don't really have a marriage for the millionth time. And he thinks that Robyn is sensitive to that in a way. He keeps her distance from her, but he keeps smiling from Robyn, actually, from across the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's kind of like it's some weird game to them, I think. I think they go home and this is like a kink or something for them. I don't know what this is, but
just make facial expressions at each other.
Yeah, because he made a point to be like, he has an issue with not being able to show PDA with Robyn in front of other wives or be able to show PDA with other wives. And apparently they had talked about this a while ago and they all agreed, I think even including Robyn, that it's just not a good idea to be affectionate in front of the other wives. And he's like, well, I don't understand it because other polygamists can do it. You decided that a while ago and now all of a sudden he has like a problem with it. And Meri says that she doesn't get why he has a problem with it, but she says that when things are good between him and her, she doesn't mind if he were to be semi-affectionate with another wife. I'm sure it's not like making out, but like if you were to go up, give her a hug, a kiss, or whatever.
Right.
Maybe hold hands. I don't know, but
find solace in each other.
Oh my God. He made it seem like he wanted to like get down with Robyn on the counter in front of Meri or something. Like solace. Like you want to just like be cuddled up with your one wife in front of all the ones you left behind. Like
no. I know. And he says that. He says we've never been allowed to be in love with each other, but now everyone is leaving. And I think that's what he thought this conversation was initially, that like they're going to sit down and finally say, you know, have him essentially, Robyn, you can keep him and you guys can like have your love with each other. Because why else would they even bring this topic up if Kody wasn't like excited in some way to be like, maybe I can finally show my true love? Like, because otherwise it's just totally out of context. Like this is a whole different conversation. It has nothing to do with romantic affection or anything like that.
It kind of goes into that whole thing we were talking about before, how Kody has obviously only been in love with Robyn. I feel like maybe Robyn is the first time he's even experienced love. So he can't really replicate that with his other wives because it's just not there for him. So at this point, it's like, y'all are basically abusing this man by forcing him to stay in polygamy.
Well, isn't this when he said that thing about polygamy? What did he say?
He says that he's kind of in this quasi-plural marriage mess that's been going on. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Isn't that kind of why he said he couldn't show affection, right?
Yeah.
Because of this mess of a marriage.
Mess. Yeah.
Like your mess, Kody. This is your mess. You are the one who married all of these women. And now they're all leaving because of you. Like a marriage is like two people, but he hasn't tried at all. So yeah.
You can't really have your cake and eat it too, right? Like you can't have like your functioning marriage and then like your side hookups, like, you know what I mean? And like expect them to be totally loyal to you and obedient to you when you really don't give them anything in return. I don't know. You can't really live that way and expect things to go smoothly. Like these people are going to leave. They're going to want that kind of love for themselves. I mean, if you're only truly in love with one of them, they all feel it. They all see it. Look at the state of the union.
The unions.
So Meri does start telling Kody that she's about to move. Well, move all of her stuff except herself, apparently. Mm-hmm. And he smiles when she says, I'm moving everything over from Flagstaff. I'm going to downsize on this. He kind of smiles and he goes, cool.
Yeah, he's happy for her.
He's fine.
That's when Robyn's face does like 5 different things, actually. And then in the confessional, she's like, please give something to hang on to. But when Robyn's face does 5 different things, it starts off with this. Did you see that weird tongue thing she did to her mouth?
But oh,
that's what she was doing while Meri was talking, just staring at Kody like, and then she starts making the faces in response.
She really came to play, Robyn.
Her face came to play, that's for sure.
Sub and Robyn made her great return in the confessional. We missed her last episode, but she returned to beg Kody to say the right thing and just give Meri something to hold on to, which I'm guessing is that little rope of hope from last episode.
Rope, a string, a finger, I don't know, something. Speaking of fingers.
Yeah, speaking of fingers, great transition.
I know.
Actually, that was beautiful. Not planned. Never planned.
Never here.
Meri got distracted by Kody's new ring on his ring finger. So they used to have like matching rings, like all 5 of them. And Kody had this like, I think it was like a Celtic ring. Is that what you said? Or like a...
Yeah, it's like an Irish ring. It's called something else and I can never understand what they call it. But it's of Irish like descent.
I'm sure somebody will tell us. Or something. Maybe, yeah. So they had these matching rings, and Meri notices that Kody has a totally new ring, and he's like, these nuances. Like, why is she noticing this ring? Because she brings it up. She's, hey, what's with that ring? She's probably still wearing hers. And she's like, well, if he didn't want me to see the ring, then he wouldn't wear it to my house. And it's different from the ring that we got. And I don't care if him and Robyn got it on their own. She got it for him, or he got it for himself, or whatever the case is. I don't care. I mean, obviously you care a little bit, girl. You brought it up.
Obviously, everybody knows. Not just everyone in their family. Everybody in the world knows that Meri and Kody are probably never going to work it out. So I wonder if that's almost Meri's way, too, of trying to bring up some reality in this conversation, because she just said she's moving all her stuff but herself. So she just like skirted around the issue and avoided the topic that their marriage is over. And then she notices this ring, which is replacing the ring that commits him to his sister wives and their family all together. And he's not wearing it anymore. That really is a huge deal. And to brush it off like it's some kind of, wasn't it a cool ring, says Robyn, like, off. Meri, bring it up and say, what does this mean?
It's like she wants to, but she really don't want to truly know, because then that means the end. And that's like the worst thing to Meri, I think. She does like to live in some form of denial at this point in time in the series, at least. So they cut from them
abruptly.
They give us this like little bit of relief, I guess, with Christine and Janelle and their kids and how their kids are moving in together. It was just kind of weird how it just like went from that. It was like, oh, okay.
Right, because we were just getting into like what the conversation was happening, and then we got distracted like squirrel. Like we saw a ring. And it was like, okay, we're gonna go over here now.
And they never get back to the ring either. Like you said, like she didn't really ask anything else. It didn't really come up again. It just got back to Meri's move. That's all we're ever going to hear about Meri's thoughts or feelings or on the ring. I hope that one day we get a confessional with Janelle and Christine. I was wondering why we didn't, because usually they'll show in these confessionals where they're like talking to each other but not talking to each other, answering questions.
Right. They've got to be showing them like played back film or something like before it's aired. Just, give us a comment on this or whatever. Sometimes they're talking to each other more in the confessionals than they even say in real life, which happened a lot in the scene with like Robyn and Kody and Meri this time.
Yeah.
There's a lot more reality being spit in those confessionals alone. If they would just say those things in real life, their lives would be a lot more clear, at least.
Even Robyn with her ropes, I would love to see her say it out loud. Say it.
Yeah, just say that out loud in that moment. Hey, Kody, just throw her rope. Throw her rope out.
So Garrison got a house in Flagstaff, and Gwendolyn and Gabriel are moving in with him. And we could just get this kind of cute moving in scene. Christine's not really the most...
She's concerned. She's worried about pets. She's worried about personalities. She's worried about politics. She's got like a trifecta of P's going on here. Again, not something I planned, but I'm on it today. But those really are the things that she's worried about. And I think that that's valid. They did all live together, she said, obviously when they were younger, although they've all functioned, they say, as siblings. But it seems like they were just kind of gathering for holidays and, going to school and that kind of thing.
But you'd assume the boys have lived together probably most of their lives, so.
Right, but to have the worlds kind of collide again is going to be different. And Gabe kind of puts it in a good way. He says that he feels like his family all abandoned ships in different lifeboats, but the moms are all great captains, and that like Christine and Janelle kind of sail nearby each other in their lifeboat. So, I mean, if any kids are going to do well, like living together, it's going to be probably Janelle and Christine's kids, but you just never know.
I think it helps that Gwendolyn seems really like laid back. Yeah. So Christine also gives us this cute little story about her walking into a men's room. She always gives us a cute little story of the week herself.
They actually talk about ways that they're gonna like get back at each other if they're mad, like not picking up the dog poop or like leaving the shower caddy somewhere. And I thought that was actually a good thing that they were doing that, because they're still playful with each other. Like they're still able to communicate openly. Not that they were actually plotting against each other, but just they're able to be assertive if they need to.
One of them, I forget which one, brought up the lease, and they said how if they fight, then, they're still obligated to pay rent. And Christine's like, it's not if, when they fight. But yeah, so after we are there, they go back to Robyn and Meri in the conversation with Kody. Kody says in his confessional that he thinks that Robyn and Meri are still talking about this relationship that the three of them are in. This is my quote that Kody said. Robyn and Meri are still talking about this relationship that the three of us have, like we're a family. And what I'm gathering Robyn is saying is, you got to be around because this is your wife. And I don't need that kind of pressure.
I just cannot believe this man. The audacity to preach at these women for entire decades that they need to be on good terms with each other. They need to look at each other as family. They need to be a team. They need to talk to each other. And now you're turning around and you're confused as to why your most compliant wife is being friends with the wife who's way the over here. Kody, say the words. Like, I'm done. Stop wearing the ring. Stop doing all the things. Stop being so passive aggressive. Just say you want to be with Robyn, for crying out loud.
Then we go to Robyn, and Robyn is helpless, to Kody and Christine, Kody and Janelle, but Meri's here. And why can't he just work on things with Meri? Like, she's like, I don't know why he doesn't work on things with Janelle. I don't get why he doesn't do this or why he doesn't do that. But I don't get why he doesn't work with Meri. There's just so little left here. Robyn, there is nothing left there.
There's nothing left. And she's upset that Kody's like not helping at all. And then she gets to a point where she says that it feels like a deal breaker. And I think that that's maybe part of the reason why Kody is not being so open about like, okay, let's just really, go our separate ways, spiritually and whatever all the way. Because I think part of him does know, for whatever reason, that, Robyn has made it clear that that is what she signed up for, is a plural marriage. I know there's a lot of opinions, about her actions within plural marriage, but she has said that she wants to be in a plural marriage, and that could be a deal breaker for her not to be. And if we're going off of what I said at the end of last episode, where I think that Robyn wants to be that wife that's always available at someone's beck and call, you really can't do that when you have your husband around 24/7. So she probably does want sister wife or two around, but I don't know why she has all this investment in Meri. Like, invest in Janelle, because that's at least, he'll go there a couple days a week if they could reconcile that. But I know they have a different kind of relationship.
Yeah, she basically wants Kody to throw this rope with her. She can't do this on her own. Kody is a savage this entire episode. I'm not gonna lie.
He was savage. Like, he cannot be bothered.
So then we go back to Christine and Janelle for a second. They keep kind of like
flip-flopping, yeah.
Christine and Janelle are talking about the townhouse, and Christine wants her to move in there, and Janelle kind of plays with the idea. She says she does want to live closer to some of her kids. She wants to get property in like North Carolina or something like that. It's kind of like what you said. They're more in a marriage. I feel like they're trying to get back together more or less than...
Yeah, they're literally openly considering in front of their kids potentially buying homes together. And then they get into the discussion of like, how are we going to do holidays? And that's a more serious conversation. That's not even like an idea. They really, it seems like, made plans, pretty solidly, that they're going to at least spend Christmases together in some fashion, in some way. And Janelle's kids have always been attached to Christine. They want to be with Christine for the holidays. Obviously, they want to be with their mom too, but I think it's sweet. It speaks to the plural family dynamic that maybe kind of works.
But you know what I thought about? Christine's kids are never really brought up about how they don't really talk to Kody. Like, it's always Janelle's kids and this rift with Janelle's kids, which I can see. I get it. We need to watch that play out. But why don't we hear more about Christine's kids' feelings about Kody and stuff like that? I feel like it's because, like Christine says later on in the episode, that her kids are used to him not being around. Apparently he must have been around Christine the least.
What I'm gathering from what they're saying now, if we're going to go in order, obviously Robyn was the most favorite wife, has been, spends the most time there. Then Janelle, and he spends a good amount of time, it seems like, with Janelle, because he does like her. Even in this episode, they're about to go on a date and get along. And then Christine, and then Meri. And I think really, there doesn't seem to be much of a difference between Christine and Meri, except Christine and Kody were kind of playing it off a while longer. There wasn't a reason for Kody to like completely cut her off like there was with Meri with the catfishing thing, which I have not seen yet. But it seems like that really caused a shift. Obviously, things were bad before for that to all even be going down. But
with Christine, I think you felt more of a need to even pretend to try, even for like truly sake.
Well, it seems like Kody is attracted to like the younger kiddos too. I feel like it gives him a reason to be around.
He does put his relationship with the little ones above the older ones because the older ones are older, but the little ones need him the most. I think you could say that they need you the most in some ways, but like I think kids have different needs, especially as they age, and I think you just evolve with whatever those needs are. It's like Kody wants to stay stuck in the little kid needs. So
just because they don't need him for basic needs doesn't mean that they don't need him to like give them a call once a week, once a month. How you doing? You know, how are you feeling?
How many times you call your parents about like, how do I make something? Like
100 times a day. And then if my mom doesn't answer, I send her a text message and I tell her I'm dead.
Like, I know he's got a lot of them, and I don't know if he just kept having kids to stay in that little kid stage.
Right.
I don't know what the deal is there, but it seems like once they get into past teenage years and they get onto adult, like he's just kind of like, cool, I'll come through for your wedding and your events and when you have kids every now and then, but after that, like, I mean, you're just kind of for the world now. But you know, with these last ones, because they're the last ones and he's gonna have to stick it through, like he's gonna have a much better relationship with them compared to all of his other kids. So Robyn asked Meri to address her concerns, but Meri's like visibly uncomfortable by that request, like even though that's the whole reason for them being there, is so Robyn can like help translate Meri's emotions to Kody. Meri for some reason like keeps tiptoeing around like asking Kody like what the hell's going on with them for some reason, even though like Kody said it to us, to her at reunions, to everybody, the world, the confessional. I mean, even the aliens I'm sure know that Kody is not trying to be with Meri. Meri has this weird like anxiety about telling him, and she's like, well, I'm not afraid to say it. I just think that he doesn't want to hear it. And it's like, well, of course you don't want to hear it, but you know, we're here to say it, so let's say it.
Right. Meri calls Robyn weird. She's like, why are you being so weird? Because Robyn is really pushing Meri into saying this. And I think like Meri kind of caught from the vibes of the first part of the conversation that she knew how that was going to go. So I think she just didn't feel like there was a reason to say that. And in Meri's eyes, I think her point of the whole conversation was to just tell Kody she was moving her things. Robyn's point of the conversation was to make it clear to everybody that they're all still a family, even though everybody knows that they're not.
Now that's what Robyn says, but I kind of think Robyn's reason was to get into Cody and Meri's relationship, and she wanted to be there. She wanted to hear it. She wanted to be a fly on the wall for it.
True. She wanted to be like their little marriage counselor, but neither one of them are wanting to like have that conversation.
Yeah, Meri does tell Kody about her hope for reconciliation. She's kind of like aggressively telling him because she's kind of being pushed into telling him. So it seems like she's kind of like yelling this at him, which I thought was weird too. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, Meri, why are you like mad? Like, she's like, I am moving my stuff there. I'm not moving there. I'm not leaving this family. I'm not leaving you. I still have hope for this marriage. Kody's just kind of like, good on you, Meri.
This man is a savage, like a straight up savage. He says, good for you, that none of this affects me and why am I here? Like, he didn't say that last part, but that's what he meant. Like, then why are we having this damn conversation if you're just moving a couple of clothing items over to a different state and you're doing the same thing we've been doing? And good on you, but I don't care. Could care less about what Meri's doing on a day-to-day basis. Robyn and Meri kind of like glance at each other and give each other these crazy looks. So I think he starts to realize like that he's missing something. So he's trying to get some clarity as to like what the hell is really going on. So he starts to ask about the B&B and sort of pushes her into moving there, which to me makes sense. Like
it does make sense. Like, this is where I say Kody kind of had some good points in some of this conversation. Like, but just tell her that. Stop telling us that. Tell her that. Because, like, you're having these weird conversations on camera, but then in the confessional, y'all are trying to spit some sense.
It's obvious why Kody has questions and he's confused, which usually he's confused for no reason. But this doesn't make any sense. What Meri is trying to tell Kody right now is, I'm going to move my clothing business that's in Flagstaff up to my business in Utah and have all those businesses together, but I'm still going to live down here. And what she told us a couple of episodes ago was she doesn't want to be traveling so much anymore. So why would you continue to live in a different state than where all of your businesses are?
Meri and Robyn look at each other. I can tell that it was a conversation of like, Meri told her he's not going to care. Robyn told her, no, he cares. He wants you on the property. So she's looking at her like, told you, he don't care.
And Meri, she goes on this tangent about, sometimes people have two different homes, and polygamous men often have two different homes. And she says, usually they live in all of them. Because Kody doesn't live in any of his homes of any of his wives.
Besides one. Yeah, so he also kind of gets confused. He starts questioning like what she's doing, wondering why she's even still in Flagstaff. He's really confused about that. He's asking her about the B&B, and if she's going to take up a room there, why doesn't she just shut the whole damn thing down and make it her house? She's like, well, my mom had a space, and she's not here anymore, so I'm going to just move into that space. I mean, yeah, it makes sense, right? Say that to him.
That's the part that I was saying earlier, where it's like, there's more communication happening in these confessionals that needs to happen in real life. Like, this wasn't even a hard thing to say. It's not emotionally charged. It's not anything. Why was that just not said right there?
Just that she's just sitting there getting all like flustered, and Robyn's like talking for her. Kody, you need to download this to your hard drive. She is not moving into the B&B. You need to keep that house. It is sentimental. He's like, no, whoa. I'm not trying to get rid of the house. I'm trying to move her into it. Robyn thought he was trying to get rid of the B&B. I don't know where she got that from. I'm like, no, he's clearly trying to get her into it.
Meri says she doesn't want to live in Utah, that once they moved out of Utah, she declared to herself that she would never live there again, which again just doesn't make any sense to me anymore, because I know at this point the laws had changed and she's running all of her businesses out of there. And she's not
even really committing any crimes right now. Her and Kody ain't even intimate. So
exactly.
What's the crime?
Kody says that Robyn's advocacy is making him uncomfortable. He's afraid that if he abandons all of his wives, that Robyn is going to lose respect for him. And why would she not lose respect for him? Even if she wanted to be his only wife. The way he's gone about these divorces is just disheartening and disgusting, and it's just not the way that you do it. Like, even in Janelle's case, where he's trying to reconcile, like, he's about to take her on one date, like, just like she's about to say, they've not made any gestures of like, we want to go to therapy, we want to make this work, this is what we see for our future, this is how we're going to move forward. None of that. He's not fought for any of these women. I don't see why Robyn wouldn't lose respect for him in some way, shape, or form. She, a part of her is probably going to be really happy, maybe, for the people who have a theory that Robyn just wants him all to herself. But I also feel like, why would you respect a man that just lets 3 marriages collapse and, stands by and does nothing but bitch about it?
Yeah, so he offers Meri to stay in this loft barn dominium.
Yeah.
And it's this like big barn that he wants to throw a loft in. Like, he puts all his tractor or whatever, lawn equipment and sports equipment and any type of equipment that Kody needs for the outdoors. And he just wants to throw Meri in there like the rest of his
out of convenience. Like, he's just gonna stick her up at the top of this barn with all of his things that he doesn't want anymore. And he starts throwing out other things before the barn dominium. He wants her to live in the damn trailer that Janelle lived in during the winter time. Like, I would rather you just live out on the land and freeze to death in that tiny refrigerator by yourself.
How come you can build a barn dominium, but they can't break ground on no houses? Or I thought they have to pay off this land first before they start building things on it. So what's the catch there? Maybe somebody can like fill me in on that, because I don't get why he can do this barn dominium. Also, why didn't he offer this whole barn dominium to Janelle? I'm sure Janelle would have been thrilled to live on the land in a barn dominium. Like, are you kidding me?
Janelle wanted to build that casita, and I think really what the issue is, and yeah, maybe people can help us fill in the gaps, but it sounds like they need to develop the land. There's no like electricity or water or anything like that, and they can't do that until the zoning is done. But it sounds like they bought the land with residential zoning. It just wasn't zoned the way that Kody wanted it zoned. He wanted 5 different plots, and right now it's like 3 different plots is what it's zoned for, something like that.
Might as well stay that way.
And exactly. If it stayed that way, I think they can start developing on it now while they continue to pay it off. But if you want to rezone the property in those 5 structures, which he doesn't even need anymore because he only has 1 wife, then he needs to pay it all off before he can rezone it. If Meri was all in for the barn dominium, I still don't think it would happen.
No, it wouldn't. Robyn sees hope because of this random thought of Meri going to live on the barn dominium. They cut to Robyn after Kody like initially offers it, and Robyn's like, See, this is why I think there's hope here. This is why there's a relationship here. Why would he be bringing up stuff. Like he brought up this other story, I guess, from the past too, that like really it wasn't relevant, or like
she was talking about moving her clothing business. That's how
the clothing rack
started. And he was like, yeah, you're gonna move them all with racks. Like it seemed like he was just trying to like make conversation about how the move would go logistically. He had this memory about like taking her on one of her sales or whatever and selling, and the same thing. Yeah, Robyn's like, see, you just don't remember things like that if you don't love somebody. It's like Kody probably remembered that because he felt like he made that sale, and he's probably like, look at how good of a salesman I am. Like that's probably why he remembered
it. Doesn't mean anything sometimes just because you remember it, you know.
Right. He could have remembered that day because he was pissed off about having to load them damn racks in there.
Kody goes to us in a confessional and says, you know, as long as Meri wants to live in this denial, he's willing to live in it as well.
Well, and then Robyn's confessional kind of shortly after, and it's like it starts to make sense why we're having conversations that aren't real, because then Robyn says that Meri asked her to always tell her that there's a rope of hope and to always fight because, you know, she can't fight every day. And it's like, well, no wonder we're all living in La La Land. You got Meri over here telling Robyn, hey, tell me lies about my relationship so that I can continue to live in delusion. And Kody agreeing to live in delusion as long as he can live with Robyn most of the time. And Meri and Kody deciding, like, we're just going to be, you know, separate, but not separate. Maybe like one time on a hard day, she was like, you know, just tell me there's hope today because I need to hear it. Like I could hear that being more realistic than like, tell me every single day lies about my marriage. I think that's it for that island conversation, which, gosh, I have more questions than answers. But we move on to a date with Janelle and Kody. Janelle just wants to be easy, she said, and have fun. So, and while he's driving, he admits that he's clueless to what's going on between him and Janelle because he doesn't understand why they can't reconcile. So he's like, I know that I must be clueless to what the problem is because I don't see what the problem is. So it's just annoying at this point that these two are pretty much headed for, you know, spiritual divorce or whatever, and there's kids involved. And this guy has not even sat down to take the time to understand what her problems are in this marriage.
Well, and it's 6 months since the fight, and it's 4 months since the separation. Like
and you can sit there with a straight face while you're about to take this woman on a date and say, I still have no idea what the problem is.
You've been told multiple times it's this with the kids, it's this with that. Like you have a list of reasons on what's going on in this part of your marriage. I mean, Janelle's very vocal about it, and you're still, I don't know,
complete denial. But Janelle,
just like Meri, as Meri is living in her denial with Kody is living in some weird denial with Janelle.
Janelle gets in the car and she's hot. Like Janelle, when she gets herself together, I mean, she looks good all the time. She's really naturally pretty beautiful, but when she gets herself all together and like you can tell she's feeling herself, like she looks like Marilyn Monroe or like a descendant of Marilyn Monroe. Her hair is like reminds me of it, and I don't know, I just think she looks hot and good for her.
And he's like saying he's jonesing, you know, like he's all excited for this day. He's pumped up. He's booked the nicest restaurant in Arizona, so it looks like we're going to a different restaurant.
She did want to have a fun date with him. She wasn't trying to like go be bitter. She enjoys her time with him generally, as long as they can keep things like surface level. But yeah, Kody's happy with himself. He says he feels like the magic man again. And it's like, well, duh. Obviously, if you would just start being nice to your wives, having a good time with them, making sure that they're feeling good, you would feel good. And then you'd want to do that to the next wife and the next wife. And then everyone would be happy, just like they were supposedly at some point.
He says it's weird going through a divorce when sleeping with your wife and lover. Are you talking about Robyn then, right? Because I don't know if he was sleeping with any of the other ones. I mean, that car ride did have a couple awkward moments, like where she started being like, you know, I don't really know what our relationship is. I'm just going out for a fun time. Like, this isn't really a reconciliation. That kind of like dampers Kody's mood. You can see him start switching again back to his like horrible self. And Janelle even unheld his hand at some point. So, but Kody says he's been in love with Janelle before, so he thinks he can get there again. So it made me wonder, like, I wonder if maybe Janelle was the first Robyn or something. Like, not to say that she acted like Robyn. I'm sure she did it a lot better, but maybe she was the one that got the most time before.
Oh yeah.
And like, you know, Meri and Christine maybe got like equal to similar time. I don't know. When Kody said that he's been in love with Janelle before, so he feels he can be in love with her again. What also got me about that is that he never says that about Meri or Christine or anything. So he's obviously never really been in love with those people. He just was trying to get to heaven. That was just his number. He had to get to a number. So, and Christine was the magic number of 3, I believe. I think it's 3 or more.
Yeah.
One thing that happens is they turn off the cameras and they decide to have the date like privately.
Yeah, it seems like they just like hopped around Sedona. She said that they liked that area and there's like lots of things to see and do.
She said they went home together, so I'm assuming that was a hookup, but
I don't think she meant that they went home together. I think she just meant and then we went home. Like,
I don't know. I kind of got hookup vibes, but maybe not. Yeah, well, Kody is concerned that Janelle is out here for his body, and he is, you know, bringing that up even again. He's like, I don't want her to just see me as like an object. Stop saying this. Nobody sees you as an object. Not even Robyn, I don't think, sees you as an object.
And that's what we get left with too, is just that weird statement that Kody wants to be a person and not an object. Like, then act like a person. Like, friggin' talk to these women. Tell them how you feel.
Do you ever think about when you're watching Sister Wives, if you just watch only the scenes and not the confessionals? I feel like we should try that. I feel like they're totally different things.
Separate shows.
If you watched only the confessionals, you would get like a cohesive story, I think, but you just wouldn't get any scenes with it. You would just get a story time with the Browns about their family. So
they give us a couple previews for next episode. It looks like we're going to get some more info on that group text. So maybe that's why they were so hush-hush about it before. I mean, I also know they were trying to protect the kids and the integrity of the show, but maybe the integrity of the show part was because we might hear some more information on that, hopefully. And it looks like something with McKelty's going on. And there is an ex-anniversary party that Christine has, and she invites Janelle to it. And it looks like there might be some uncomfy vibes, but I know that they get along really well. So I know they'll get through it, but I'm kind of excited.
So yeah, this is the end of episode 8 of Sister Wives. Thank y'all for coming back. And if you caught us on the last video and are catching us now and our new subscribers, welcome. We are so happy to have you. We were grateful for all of the comments. Even last time we got quite a bit of comments and a lot of good ideas and perspectives, so keep that coming.
Yeah, we really do get so excited every time somebody likes our video, comments, subscribes. Like, we text each other every time. It really is fun to just see the channel grow and see all the people who, you know, want to hear us chat. So
yeah, and if you get to this part of the episode, we truly appreciate
it. You're the real MVP. So comment below real MVP so we know who you are. So all right, chick chatters. Well, we will see you next week. Hopefully I'll be able to make it next week and more of the weeks after. But
all right. Well, bye, chick chatters.